Okay, so let's go to the analyst point. So a lot of analysts are pointing to three main culprits for the crash. They're
Okay.
talking about the geopolitical tension.
Yeah.
They're talking about lingering inflation.
Yeah.
And they're also talking about capital rotating out of crypto into AI.
Exactly.
And traditional stocks. So do you agree with the reading of the market? And which of these 3 points are you thinking hits the hardest?
Okay. I would go with the capital rotation.
Okay.
Right. The reason is because OpenAI, the company that owns ChatGPT,
Yes.
they are going public. That means they are listing their IPO, initial public offering.
Oh.
Right. So which means a lot of investors are moving their money from crypto to that. Right. And then another one too, another IPO too that is almost around the corner is that of SpaceX, right? The company owned by Elon Musk.
Oh.
So they are also going public, and it's something that a lot of investors wants to ride on that particular wave, right? So, so that capital rotation is valid. And then also, if you pay attention to the market closely, you see that the other very valid sentiment too is the conversation of geopolitical POV, right, point of view. So when you look at Iran, US, Israel war, you see that once the conversation is on the table, the market looks like it's feeling stable. And the moment there is any disagreement, the market collapses, right? So I've seen that happen a lot of times on the US index, the US oil, Bitcoin, gold, everything is just a little bit unpredictable this period.
And actually, the AI part of it is actually interesting because that's a very big market.
Yes.
And
yes, I agree.
We would all agree that there is a lot of money in that market.
Yes,
so it
obviously.
actually makes sense that the investors would want to redirect their money to the AI angle.
Yeah.
Now, from a Nigerian trader's perspective, how much does the global macro factor like the US inflation and the whole geopolitical tension actually affect what's happening on the ground here? Or does the local dynamic drive their own separate patterns?
Okay, this financial market is actually global market, right? So internally, over the period of observation, the Nigerian internal factors don't really weigh so much in this market, right? Even currently now, due to this whole Iran, US, Israel war conversations, you get to find out that it's affecting even our price of fuel locally.
So why does that really affect us?
I would say that it's affecting us. The fact that we have Dangote refinery, I think a lot of times they've come up publicly to say that the oil market is global.
Okay.
Right. So price of crude is priced not locally, it's priced globally.
Around the world.
Right. So and then the whole Iran thing, the Strait of Hormuz actually controls the channel of transportation, or more or less movement of ships, right? So now that is affected, it's affecting the price of crude globally. And then I think Dangote also cited that this sourcing of their crude oil is not only from Nigeria, they source from different angles. So if obviously they are buying crude at a higher price, it will impact the outcome of what they are producing and selling, right? So that's basically how that is affecting the common Nigerian. But speaking of how this affects the market from the point of view of Nigerian traders, the Nigerian local news does not really impact so much in the global level in terms of this market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know I'm deviating a bit from our topic, but I'm actually interested in this part as well.
Okay.
So don't you think that Nigeria should have gotten to a place where we actually do produce our own oil? Because I mean, we have the raw materials. Are we not supposed to be oil producers?
We are oil producers.
So why are we now importing?
So that's why Dangote refinery is there, and it's refining and reselling to the Nigerian
people.
Yeah.
But then it still affects us that the producers.
Yes, of course. He's an independent producer. He's not the government.
Okay, but as in Nigeria, I think we should actually have our own refineries.
Yes, we had.
But they're not working.
We have, but they are not working exactly.
that's laughable. Okay, anyway, so enough of that. Maybe some other time we're going to have conversations that are relating to that.
Yeah.
So now let's move to so this segment is where I think a lot of listeners will be interested in. So because the market cap has now moved from its peak to almost half of it, which is from 4.2 to 2.17 trillion.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. So now, what's the biggest mistake you have seen traders, especially Nigerian traders? What are the biggest mistakes you think they've done, especially before the crash and during the crash?
Okay, one of the biggest mistakes is that people sell out of fear, right? If you go to the platforms now, social media platforms, you get to see that a lot of persons are, they hate the industry, they hate the market, a lot of hatred out there. I hate Bitcoins, Bitcoin has spoiled my money. While it's true, I think we are missing the foundation of what they should know, the foundation of the knowledge, right? So I think the average Nigerian that ventures into cryptocurrency probably doesn't have a full background knowledge of the industry, right? So it's very important that before people put their money into any industry, you first have to understand, yes, know how the industry works, right, before you put your money. And then another big mistake I think another very good thing that people should be doing in this crash is to actually be buying, right? Now is the time to start evaluating those coins with potentials. Imagine something that was selling for $126,000 and it's currently selling for over 50% discount. Because currently today's price of Bitcoin as of the time of making this video now is probably $63,000 to $64,000, while it's initially crashed a couple of days ago, I think that was on Friday, to almost $58,000.
Wow.
Right. So the right thing to be doing is actually to be accumulating or to be analyzing the coins that you're interested in. Solana, on the other hand, has crashed from $290 something to today's price of around I think Solana is trading at $60 something today. Right, so that is another very good potential project that one should monitor to know, okay. Or another thing people think, another misconception about the whole market crash is that they think you need $60,000 to buy a full Bitcoin, or you must buy a full Solana or Ethereum, right? But in most cases, it's not true.
Okay.
The reality is that you can buy these assets in fractions, smaller fractions, 1,000 naira, 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, 100,000 naira.
Stocks.
Exactly. So I think these are like the misconceptions that most persons have around the market.
Okay, so I want to ask you, so how do you feel about the crash? Like, how has it affected you? You don't have to tell us like an overview, just like, how do you feel about it?
Of course, I got my share of the loss, but it's not the first time I'm being here. We've been here, we've seen the crash a lot of times. We've regretted a lot of decisions. There was a time I regretted some decisions that I made where I sold my Bitcoin to go buy a land, and I regretted because the land, I think I sold like 2 Bitcoins to go and buy a plot of land then. And I think that was like 10 million naira or so. And today's price of the land is not up to 1 Bitcoin after many years. Meanwhile, Bitcoin, even right now that Bitcoin is so low at $63,000. Right, so
I thought land value appreciates.
It appreciates, depends on the assets you're comparing it to. Right, when you compare it to, if you're comparing the land value to naira appreciation, then you have a lot of profits. But if you're comparing it to the decision of leaving cryptocurrency to come into the land, then that's where you see the point. So how I feel about the crash, I still see it like an opportunity, actually.
Okay.
Even though I feel the hurt of the losses we have incurred and the opportunities we were unable to, retain. And there's one very important thing I was also able to do, was to still enlighten myself more in the industry, right? I think sometime a few months ago, I had a series of courses that more like expanded my scope of, because basically what we do in Hara is exchange, not day trading, right? But I had to expand my scope of the ultra trading, which has given me more insight on how the opportunities the market hold. So one of the things I believe we would take out of this market crash is to make the next rise the biggest opportunity, where we have to invest now for returns of tomorrow.
What are the indicators that you have seen to know that, okay, this is potentially going to like rise again?
Okay, one very good indicator that I have uncovered is the seasonal chart.
Okay.
Right? There is a history of monthly performance of every of Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? For every year, right? It's an indicator where you see that there was very high possibility that there will be a crash in June. I'm not going to lie. I was aware in May that the market will crash in June.
Oh.
But I didn't know when. So the 1st of June, usually the market is supposed to go back upwards before it continues crashing. But the 1st of June came with the force of a major crash. Right, yeah. So, but another very good indicator to also use to monitor the market is the fear and greed index.
Yeah.
Right. I have over the years of experience, I have seen the fear and greed index hit 90%, right, at the peak of the market. I've also seen fear and greed index, I think the last bull run, that was 2024, 2025 or so, I've seen it at 87%, right? Trust me, if you're someone who wants to do cryptocurrency investments for the long term, fear and greed index is enough for you to be profitable. So you watch the fear and greed index. Once it shows you that it is extreme fear, I've seen the negative side of the fear and greed index touch up to like, it should be 4%, or the lower side, 4%, 5%. So if you buy the market at that kind of fear, trust me, and hold it long enough for the fear and greed index to go back to 50, 80, 70, you'll be profitable. But this is for long-term traders, right? But if you are more like the day traders, of course, you can't be a day trader by just buying and selling like that. You have to go and get a skill, right? So for day traders, learning, understanding your market structure, right? And then also, market structure is basically what I use, the price action. That's basically what I use actually.